I recently got permission to shoot over a barley field that's local to me, and I decided to head out early one morning and see if I could get a few birds. Now, the barley field isn't cut yet, it's still standing, but I've noticed that the birds like to light on the wires leading to a large electrical pole situated at the side of the field. So I'm setting up my little pop-up hide here, close to the hedge overlooking it. I'm just throwing a camouflage net around it to help take that flat man-made look off it, and I'm cutting also some weeds, nettles, thistles, and feeding them into the camouflage netting, basically to help the whole thing match the hedge around it. It takes a wee bit of time to do it, but it definitely is worthwhile in the long run. Once I'm happy with the hide, I lift the rifle and the ammunition, of course, and put them into the hide. Next job, of course, is to get the decoys set out. Now, although the barley is standing, there are one or two holes in it that the birds like to feed in, that the tractor has caused while it's been turning in the field. So I'm setting a few decoys out into it. I'm only using about 3 wood pigeon decoys and 1 crow decoy, as the hole is quite small, so you can't fit too many decoys into it. It's really just to catch the bird's attention. But once I'm settled into the hide, it's not long before 1 or 2 birds arrive, and I firstly settle the crosshairs on this jackdaw here. The wires are about 32 yards away from the hide. And since the wire's sort of covering its head, I decide to go for a heart and lung shot and drop it into the hedgerow. This rook arrives, but as with quite a few other birds of the day, he doesn't give me much time to get both the camera and the rifle on target to take the shot before he clears off again. But it's not long before I get another opportunity. I've got a nice fat pigeon here sitting at about 32 yards. This time I go for a headshot and drop him into the barley below. Now, I don't know why I didn't notice that pigeon at the top of the screen, but I did notice that rook fly onto the wire on the right hand side at about 35 yards. And when he dips his head below the middle wire, I take another headshot. You can see there's quite a few birds flying about the field, but they're feeding in different areas through the day, so I'm just going to have to be patient. A pigeon swoops down over the hedge and flutters around the decoys in the field, only to land in the wire again, thankfully where I can get a shot at him. He's about 35 yards away. But I just pinged the pellet off of the central wire. I think I should have allowed a little more elevation. Then another pigeon comes in. He's a wee bit closer, sitting on the wires just running above my head. And and I drop them into the verge of the field. Every now and again I go out and pick up any birds I've shot and set them up as a decoy. But I'm careful where I walk. I try to stay inside the tractor tracks so that I don't cause more damage than what the birds are doing. I get another opportunity of this bird sitting at about 32 yards again. And drop him into the field. This bird's a good bit closer, at about probably 20 yards. He's quite a steep angle from the hide here. I aim a wee bit lower, just into the nape of the neck, and when his head clears the wire, I take the shot. Bird lands up on the wire on the right, again at about 35 yards. There's a wee bit of a breeze blowing now. You can see the vegetation in the foreground moving, so I aim a little to the left and just miss exactly to the left. I shouldn't have allowed for the breeze at all. Oh well, live and learn. I get another 3 birds landing up to the left, probably getting close to 35 yards again. They're looking curiously down at the decoys in the field below them. And I drop one with a nice headshot. I'm taking headshots to drop the birds straight down into the field below the electric wires to make them easier to find, so I'm not tramping more holes into the barley field. But I get a bird into the wire on my left hand side at about 40 yards and just miss him. The wind's really getting to me. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. Two birds float in from a distance and land just nicely in front of me. I've been watching them for quite a while because their heads are hidden by that middle wire. I'm patiently waiting for one of them to duck its head down below the wire so I can get a nice headshot. I'm very tempted to take a heart and lung shot, but finally patience pays off and I drop one into the field below with the sound of the ice cream man playing in the background. Well, I've been here for quite a few hours and I've decided to call it quits and head home, get a decent bite to eat. So I'm gathering up all the birds I've shot, and you can see I've set them up as decoys in the small hole as I've shot them, among the plastic decoys I set out this morning to help entice the birds onto the wire. Always try and like to leave the place as if I haven't been there at all. Clean everything up behind me. It's been an interesting day. I hope to get more birds than what I did, but that's shooting for you. Well, I've got 6 woodies and a jackdaw. Not too bad. I think the rook landed in the hedge where I couldn't retrieve it, as I didn't find it later.